Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie, and this channel is chronicling my journey of living my best life with multiple chronic health conditions. As you can see, I am all packed up, ready to go home. I am leaving Cleveland Clinic this morning and wanted to film this before I got home because it's going to be crazy once I get there. So this may end up being two parts, we'll just have to see. I will start by going over the cardiac findings, since that is what is most important, I think. I met with the cardiologist on Tuesday, which was not ideal because I didn't have any of the testing until later in the week. But I told him about the Farxiga and how it made me very fatigued. And instead of trying Jardiance, which he thought would have the same outcome since they're in the same medication class, we decided to try Entresto, which is sort of in a class all of its own. It can cause significant low blood pressure. That's one of the big things with it. And twice here, my blood pressure was hundreds over 40s, so that'll be interesting. Of note, I was not symptomatic when it was that low, so that's a good thing, I suppose. I'm hoping to pick that up either today or tomorrow from my home pharmacy. That's where it was sent, and then trial it over the weekend since it is a long weekend with Memorial Day on Monday. Then I did have an EKG. I believe it said everything was normal. I don't have results yet in the patient portal, so I don't know, but I think I read that in my cardiologist notes. I also had some lab work done. Everything looked good there. My NT-proBNP is normal. My cholesterol is mildly elevated, but part of that is because my HDL is like 81. My triglycerides are 58, and I believe my LDL is 114, which is a little high also. But all of my ratios were wonderful, so I don't think there's a problem there. Oh, what else? The next day, on Wednesday, I did have the right heart cath, and very surprising, all of my pressures are better. They're still elevated, but they are better. So my right atrial pressure went from 16 to 12, my mean pulmonary artery pressure from 30 to 20, and my wedge from 30 to 16. The provider who did the right heart cath did come out and talk to me afterwards. He did say that he saw some diastolic dysfunction in the waveform. I asked if he thought it would show up on echocardiogram the next day, and he said no. He did say, my pressures are very curious, what's going on, why do I have heart failure, and all of this. He suggested when I had my echo, I asked them if they were doing strain imaging, and if not, if they could do that. He suggested I might have some sort of infiltrative condition, suggested another cardiac MRI. I did tell him I was seeing the amyloidosis center back home, and he was very happy about that. So at least my thoughts are in the right direction. They are in tune with what the providers are saying. So maybe we'll get something there, who knows. But yeah, I was really surprised my pressures were lower considering that my symptoms have definitely progressed. I'm more short of breath, easier, my heart rate's higher, etc. So then on Thursday I had the echocardiogram, and that was more telling. So my stroke volume has decreased, and I realize echocardiogram really has to do with the technician and everything like that. So I don't take it as being the absolute truth, but again, it's good just to see trends, and comparing it to my last echo that I had here a year ago, my stroke volume went from 47, which was already rather low, to 39, which does explain why my heart rate is higher and I'm more short of breath, easier. I'm just not moving as much blood per heartbeat, and that's what happens. They were able to get strain imaging, though it was difficult. I'm difficult to do echocardiograms on. I have a lot of lung interference, whatever that means. So they did have difficulty, but the second person was able to get it. And from the research I've done, my strain is a little low, which can be seen in a multitude of conditions, one of which is amyloidosis. So all the more reason that I'm glad I do have that appointment coming up. It was supposed to be on Tuesday the 28th, but it was rescheduled and it is now in July, which is kind of a bummer, but you know, what's another month and a half, whatever, to have the appointment. So kind of getting some answers, I suppose, with the reduced stroke volume, sort of explaining why my symptoms are worsening, but only leading to more questions like, why is my strain low? What is causing this? So that question is still on the table, still not answered, but maybe getting closer. I don't really know. The other appointment I had while I was here was a rheumatologist to evaluate me for hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And while I don't technically meet the criteria, which is also kind of up in the air because they didn't ask me all of the questions, and I think if they would have, I would be diagnosed with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. But regardless, I'm on the hypermobility spectrum. So that's sort of part of an explanation as to maybe why my trachea is collapsing, and I can do, you know, all the, I don't know how to, oh, that one's better. All of those types of things. I can stack my fingers, which is really weird. But yeah, so that might explain some of my symptoms. They are getting me fingers. I can do this. Anyway, so they are ordering me some ankle orthotics because my ankles are hypermobile, which can explain why I keep rolling my ankles and almost falling when I walk, which is rather annoying because I used to be a dancer, so that never was a problem. But again, that was back when I was active, I was lifting weights, so I had that muscle to help with the stability. So once I move here next weekend, June 1st, I am really going to try to get to the gym on a regular basis. And again, with not being on the Farxiga, changing the dosing of the Mestinon, I am more capable of doing the gym, I think. We'll see. But that is how Cleveland Clinic went. Some answers, more questions. That just seems to be how it goes. I have a cardiologist appointment back home coming up at the beginning or the middle of June. We'll see what she says. And again, the amyloidosis center is in July, again, beginning or middle, I don't remember the exact date, and we'll see what they say. I'm assuming the amyloidosis center will want a cardiac MRI. The doctor that did the right heart cath also suggested a cardiac PET scan. I don't know, we'll just see. I know my provider back home isn't really wanting to test me a lot because I've had a lot of tests. She is more interested in just treating my symptoms, which I'm all for, but I'm getting worse, so we do need to figure out what's going on. Treating the symptoms isn't working because I'm getting worse. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys are having a good day whenever it is you're seeing this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.